Hey everyone, I'm India, and welcome to Life in Style-ish. This week, I did some sewing alterations to some pants I typically wear around the house. I also wanted to brush up on my sewing skills, which I haven't done in a while. So here I have my favorite pair of fleece joggers. I love them because they're soft, the fleece on the inside keeps me really warm, they fit really well, and they're super comfortable too. I'm going to use these as a template to help me alter the other pants that I have. And let me show those to you, and they're coming up. So the first set of pants are also fleece joggers, and even though I ordered them at the same time, they fit very differently. So you can see they're really baggy, they fit more like sweatpants, they're longer at the bottom, it's a lot more fabric. I could easily, as you can see, take, a couple inches off of these and they would still have a lot of fabric. So yeah, they're really roomy, and as you can see, like I said, at the bottom they gather at the bottom because it's so much fabric and it's a lot longer for my legs. If I pulled them up, they would fit a lot better down at the bottom near my ankles, but then they would be way higher than my natural waist, and it doesn't really feel as comfortable to wear them that way. So it definitely feels better to wear them on my natural waist and hips. But yeah, definitely very, very baggy pants. There are also 4 mesh pockets with little flaps on top, and I'm not really crazy about that as well. I guess, it kind of goes into the athleisure sort of aesthetic, but it's not one that I'm crazy about. Next up, I have a pair of Camo fleece joggers. These are probably the baggiest ones of all the ones that I have. They are very flowy, even though they're fleece, but yeah, very, very, they are way too big, very baggy, and gives me that, like I said, the sort of sweatpants vibe, and not too crazy about that. So yeah, definitely want to take these in. They, again, are very long as well, so it does have some gathering there at the ankle. And but yeah, I'm not going to alter the bottom of these at all, but definitely bringing them in so that they're not quite as baggy. The last pair I plan on altering are more of a lounge wear sort of pant. So they're not fleece on the inside, and not drawstring. It's just that small string there on the front it's just a small tie there. And there's a ruffled detail down the front of the right leg. There's a ruffled detail down that leg. And so, yeah, as you can see, again, they're very baggy and flowy and more like a lounge style because there are little bands, kind of the ankle bands around the bottom as well, but they're not really a jogger style of pant. So I just want to kind of take those in as well, so they'll be a little more fitted and less like lounge pants and more like the fitted jogger look that I'm going for. So for the first set, the fleece joggers, I went ahead and took off those mesh pockets that I was telling you about earlier, and then they have a little flap on top of them to cover it, and I removed that as well. After removing all the pockets, I go ahead and turn the pants inside out so I can go ahead and start making my marks with the pins. After I lay the joggers out, I line up the waistband of both sets of pants and then pin both sides all the way down. So I marked out where I'll be sewing using the pink joggers for the Camel set, and I also used the pink joggers for the lounge pants as well. I thought the ankle band was separate from the pants, so I took out the seam. After taking out the seams, the final seams, I saw that it actually wasn't a separate piece around the ankle. It was just rolled into the bottom part of the pants. So what I ended up doing was just taking the elastic completely out and cutting the bottom of the pants to shorten them, because I felt like they were too long and they were gathered too far at the bottom. So I went ahead and just cut the bottom part and kept the elastic, and I was going to add the elastic back to the bottom of the pants. As you can see, I've made a huge mistake with this when I cut them. So yeah, these are my other ones. So I put little stitches, let me show you. I put a couple of stitches here, just like a few here and there. So it's not completely sewn all the way around, but I just put a couple of stitches just to get the elastic in there, and then I'm gonna go back and just hand stitch it all the way around. And yeah, these are the first pair. So this is a view with some natural sunlight. It was dark the other day when I tried them on before, so I was just using my overhead light. So this is just some natural sunlight coming in through the window, and you can see the detail a little bit better. You see how close cropped the pants are to my legs and thighs. I wish I had just done the seams down the either side of the pants instead of cutting the bottom, but that's what I took into the next two pairs of pants. Is I'm not going to be cutting the bottom of them at all. Next up is the camel print joggers. So I went ahead and like I showed you earlier, where I marked it out in soap, and that was because I ran out of pins. So I went ahead and just marked, I saw a YouTuber and she mentioned that a good way to mark your lines is with soap. So I went ahead and did that. And now I'm just going ahead and sewing the leg down the first side. And it was going really well. I wasn't having any issues, but I didn't realize that the fabric was kind of folding in on itself, and I wasn't keeping it completely flat. Like there, you can see underneath my hand, once I move it, it wasn't keeping it totally flat. So it was kind of folded in. So that means I was sewing in way more than I should have. This is what happened. Sewed it too close, so I can't even get my foot through. And it's like super tight. This side is perfect. It came out pretty well, exactly how I wanted it to come out. Yeah, as you can see, this kind of did not go so well. Yeah, I cannot get my foot through this. I tried pulling, and yeah, it's sewn way too tight here. So this is the second look. So after removing the seams on both sides of the pants, I went ahead and just went back in and redid the seams for both sides, and just trying to make sure that it's completely flat, it's not rolling in on itself. Just watching it really carefully, making sure that I get any of the extra fabric. That was the other pant leg right there. So this one, I'm just moving the other pant leg out of the way so that I can make sure that this is completely flat and that the seam is going in exactly where I want. So these are the second set. I didn't cut them, so they're still the same length. It's definitely more tapered. It's a lot better the second time because I couldn't even get my foot through this time, or this first time. So this time, got my foot through. So yeah, it's not as tight. Yeah, so I left this one. I didn't do anything. I just cut like all the strings. So yeah, fits a lot better. I left the waistline alone. The waistline is fine. And now for the final pair. These are the Ruffled front lounge pants, and just showing you the soap lines there that I'm going to be following. And the soap worked really well. Since I ran out of the pins in the other pair of pants, the soap was really great because I didn't have to worry about leaving pins. I didn't have to worry about breaking my needle on a pin that I wasn't able to pull out. And you just sew right over the line. You don't have to remove anything. So that was really helpful. But yeah, so that was a great tip that I picked up. So yeah, if you run out of pins or you don't have any pins, you can just use soap. So that was great. So I'm just threading the machine now and going ahead and finishing out the seams in these particular pants. And this is the final look of the Ruffled lounge pants. Once I sewed them and tried them on, just kind of taking a look at them, they actually kind of remind me more of the harem pants style because they are definitely tighter down by my ankles and they're still a little bit looser at the top. So they kind of remind me more of harem pants. Also, the ruffle down the front, as I tapered in the legs, that kind of pulled the ruffle from my outer leg across, and then it kind of ends down by my inner ankle. So that was one thing, but that doesn't affect the comfort at all of the pants themselves. That's really just an aesthetic thing. I can still walk and move in them, and they're still very comfortable. So I just wanted to brush up on my sewing skills and fit these pants so that they are a better fit for my body type. I'm definitely slimmer on the bottom half of my body, and these pants, not just these, but all the pants were definitely made for someone who has more of a curvy body on the bottom half of their body. So I really wanted to kind of brush up on my sewing skills as well as making these fit my body style or my body type better. So I definitely feel like that I accomplished that, and these fit way, way better for me. So I love them. They're not perfect, but I'm not a seamstress and I don't sew that often. It's just kind of once in a blue moon thing to brush up on my skills and try different things. So that's really what I was going for. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.